Underdog brought in Skip Bayless's football show, it flopped, it dragged the channel down, and that's why it's over. It sounds logical and reasonable, and it even sounds legitimate, but you watching was never the point. You betting was the point. It was never really even about Gilbert Arenas. What actually happened here is the biggest thing going on in sports media right now, and almost nobody's talking about it.
Yeah. 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 What it do? You too? Today we watching a video involving the Gilbert Arenas situation just got worse by the flight mic. To be honest, I don't know really too much about anything about going on with the Gilbert situation. Apparently Gil's Arena got shut down. Honestly, I didn't even notice that they got shut down. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen that and posted in a minute. So let's get a little bit of this tea.
What's going on, everybody? Let me give you a little update in the event you missed part 1. And I have to hand it to myself, I think I'm getting a little bit better at these. So a quick 30-second recap. Gilbert Arenas built Gil's Arena into the #1 basketball show on YouTube. 500 million views, the 5th largest daily sports show in America.
That's insane. Like, Gil's Arena, I think it started in 2020. It's 2026 now. I think Gil's Arena started 2022, 2023. Bro's been grinding, and they just let it fizzle like that. That's insane.
About 275,000 people watching per episode. And then he split from Underdog. He walked out with the name, and the internet spent a week screaming that everybody got fired. This man went on Lou Williams' podcast, and Lou asked him straight up, was Gil pushed out, or did Gil decide to leave on his own?
Did Gil leave, or did they kick Gil out?
You can't kick Gil out and we stay. That don't make no sense.
So Gil left.
So Gil left.
Yes or no? Don't. I'm
trying to figure out why.
Look, he doing that all that. Trying to pass off the situation like, yeah, he left. Did he leave or no? Like, I mean, would they get rid of us, or would they just let Gil go? Like, come on, let's put 2 and 2 together. He ain't even trying to answer the question for real. He trying to give a little loaded launch. Bro, crazy.
Why doing it? We don't need Skip, bro.
Right.
We killing.
2 weeks ago, I made a video on the Gilbert Arenas situation, and the entire internet.
2 weeks ago. This joint just came out a couple days ago, so I'm definitely late.
It seemingly already made up its mind. Underdog fired everybody.
You still hiring, right? Cause ain't no jobs opportunity over here. They said, man, everybody gonna
me. Every show they had, all of it during the same day.
Yo, they sent them all to the dump.
This is absolutely insane. That's like ESPN coming out and saying they canceled NFL Live, the Pat McAfee Show, Sports Center, and First Take.
You know how devastating that would be? You wake up in the morning, like growing up, bro. Growing up in the early 2000s, early 2010s, bro. Like through all them years, waking up, ESPN just a staple in everybody's childhood. And then you start waking up. First Take is a staple. So I mean, ESPN and Sports Center, of course. And then you got NFL Live, and then now Pat McAfee Show has been a staple the past couple of years as well. So like, just imagine waking up and then all that football, all that baseball, hockey, basketball, everything is just gone. Like you have no sports knowledge for the remainder of the year. Yo, that'd be sick.
Now, I have to make a correction from last time, and it actually makes Gil look even better. I told you he sold half his show in 2025, and I was wrong about that. The 50-50 split was there from day one.
See? What I say. Gil they be talking crazy about Gil, but Gil really be holding it down for his people for like you get close to Gil, you get under Gil's wing, like Gil gonna hold you down, bro.
Underdog launched Gil's Arena.
You know, I did 50-50 ownerships to get the foundation because I had no idea what it took to run shows. So now I.
And that is a smart game plan, bro. Like that's something that I would invest in. Like even just like like taking a leap like that, bro. Like you're not knowing the business, you're not knowing the corners that everybody is able to cut, or you don't even just know the ins and outs of it from the foundation standpoint. So it's just like, you know, why not go 50-50 with somebody off the rip, just so that you can get that understanding and be at a better place, because somebody's going to be more willing to you know, dive deeper into the business aspect because they have that 50-50 split with you. Because like you split somebody like, you know, 70-30, 80-20, it's like, okay, like, I mean, that's just another business for me. But you got that 50-50, like they're connected.
Understand how to run shows. So I don't need to do 50-50s no more.
Crazy that I'm just sitting here thinking about it. Like, people used to talk about like Gil kind of being a snake and stuff. Like, bro, Gil was trying to hold it down from what I heard, bro. Like, Gil was holding it down for the crew, bro. That's crazy.
Real story here isn't Gil, it's that list. McAfee, First Things First, Nightcap, Club Shay Shay, New Heights, All the Smoke, Pardon My Take, the shows you watch every single day. Go look at who sponsors them, and go look at whose logo is on the desk. But at this point, you have enough to follow along. So on July 6th, Brandon Clean at Awful Announcing reported that Underdog is getting out of the original content business completely, refocusing on their prediction market and their fantasy gaming app. So bear in mind, this isn't a restructuring, this isn't them just cutting some of their talent. They're completely out of the business. The Arena Gridiron, the Fantasy Football Show with Josh Norris and Hayden Winks, all three have...
I'm wondering why they're cutting out of media. That's an empire. Like, that's actually crazy. Like, you would think that they would jump into media because everybody's going big into the streaming world and all that stuff. Like, everybody just, you know, trying to get content out, trying to get content in people's faces and stuff. So I'm kind of wondering, you know, what their purpose is for this.
They put out a statement, and pay attention to what they say in the statement, guys. With all the cast members and crews across shows, we built something special, a highly successful content network that grew because of its unwavering authenticity and deep connection with fans. We've decided the best way to fulfill that mission is to focus our energy and talent entirely on our core offerings. So they're not saying that the show failed, they're saying the opposite, yet they're shutting it down anyway. Why? This is not a company that's punishing Gilbert Arenas. This is a company that's packing up and going home. And I think this is really interesting because
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's kind of weird, bro. Everybody's getting into the streaming space now. Everybody's getting more into the, you know, getting their face over the internet, and they're trying to back out. Like, what's going on here?
Most of the takes that you're currently seeing on the internet is that Underdog got petty, Underdog fumbled, Underdog brought Skip Bayless in to shove Gilbert Arenas out, and it blew up in their face. And I even told myself a version of that story, and I was wrong. And it gets even interesting because Rashad McCants, you know, the guy who really appreciated Underdog.
Shout out to Underdog. What I'm so proud to be wearing, you know, giving us the opportunity to be able to show and prove.
Bro, that is a snake in the water. He was the same was trying to snake Mr. Bean, bro.
Did Gil leave or did they kick Gil out?
You can't kick Gil out and we stay. That don't make
Bro
sense.
can't even give a
Gil-
straight answer.
And the Skip thing was on the same podcast. The story of Underdog planting Skip to replace Gil isn't necessarily true. That's a story the internet helped write, and I actually helped write it myself. So my apologies for that.
We're sorry.
Follow for the
If you think
bait.
this is all about Underdog canceling a basketball podcast, you have no idea how big this is. Gil's Arena wasn't a show, it was a flagship of the entire network. Rasheed Wallace had a show over there. Steve Smith Sr. had a show. Bill Belichick, you know, 6-time Super Bowl winning Bill Belichick,
Dang.
had a fantasy
I didn't
football
even
show
know
with
that they
Underdog.
even had
hired
all
their
these
own
shows?
insider,
Oh my
James
gosh.
Palmer, and they hired him away from the NFL Network. They partnered up with Snapback Sports. They even went out and licensed It Is What It Is, Cameron and Mays' show. Cameron, Bill Belichick, Rasheed Wallace. That's not
Bro,
a
they low-key had a
podcast, guys.
roster.
That's literally a media company. That
They
rivaled the
low-key
likes of
had a
ESPN,
roster,
and
like,
it's all
what?
gone.
And it's gone. Poof. It's gone. It's all gone.
Every bit of it, 0 shows left standing. So a company builds all that, calls it highly successful on its way out the door, and then torches it all anyway. Why would a company do that? So here's the answer to that, guys. Underdog is a gambling company. They launched in 2020. They exploded during the sports betting boom, and they spent an enormous amount of...
You know what? I'm assuming what he's finna say is they launched their platform so big across the media that they've gotten so many people to be a part of Underdog at this point that they don't even care about social media anymore. Like, they've already gotten everybody that they need to get. And they're still getting people with the little TV ads. You know, they probably have a little NFL deal ad that pops up here and there, NBA, you know what I'm saying? But they got so much money and so much exposure already from all these shows, especially with Gil's Arena, that it doesn't even matter anymore. Because they already got all the exposure, bro. I'm telling you.
Money on content for exactly one reason. Not because
they already got
love
the bag,
hoops, but they want to sell you picks. And you don't have to take my word for it. They said it themselves. Go read their own press release from when they signed that cast.
And there's so many players that's getting caught up in the gambling stuff as well, that they're trying to retract themselves and not be a part of that stuff. Like, they trying to wash their hands. Like, we're not rigging nothing.
Their chief marketing officer, not a content boss, but the marketing boss, called Gil's Arena proof of concept for the whole network. And the release says right in it that Gilbert had become a fixture in Underdog's products, with his and soon his co-host's picks featured in the Underdog website and app. There it is, in writing. The show was a funnel. You watch Kenyon Martin crash out for 2 hours, and somewhere in there you download the app and put $5 on a parlay. That was the business. The couch was the marketing budget. And the model is collapsing across the whole industry. ESPN had ESPN Bet, a 10-year deal worth $1.5 billion with...
Yeah, ESPN Bet shutting down like that, that's crazy, because I remember I tried to make an account and it was not jacking for me, bruh. Like, they kept saying, like, I was unable to make an account or whatever. I was trying to get my little free $100.
And they killed it 2 years in. DraftKings, FanDuel, ESPN Bet, now Underdog. 4 companies, the same exit within about 18 months as this turned. Go back to October. Underdog put out a press release, their own release, bragging, where their head of content said this style of show is where the best of modern sports media is going, and that they were taking it to the next level. 9 months, that's how long it took to go from that to shutting the entire thing down. I wanted to address the football show really quickly before we move into the mechanics part of this episode. Every clip channel out there is running the same theory. Underdog brought in Skip Bayless's football show, it flopped, it dragged the channel down, and that's why it's over. It sounds logical and reasonable, and it even sounds legitimate, but this is not the reason that it all went down. When they rebranded and launched Gridiron, the numbers didn't fall. They jumped 93% in the first month. 23 million views in September, the second most watched sport
Let me get a little P of that, please.
show in all of YouTube, behind nobody but Pat McAfee. The football show nearly doubled it. It was the second biggest sports show on the internet when they pulled the plug, which honestly makes this even worse. This thing didn't die because it stopped working, it died while it was winning. Take a look at the views of the biggest sports shows on YouTube. McAfee is
while it's winning is crazy. Let's see what's going on here. Sports podcast wars, most viewed shows in the last 30 days. Let's see, we got Part of My Take, All the Smoke, New Heights, Club 520, Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, First Things First Pod, The Arena, and the Pat. So they was up there, even in this little close, like top 4 race. I mean, the worst they could have been is 4th. That's getting split at the top is crazy.
This is all in the month of September, which is the biggest month for football season. And number 2 on that list is already gone. So a company makes a spreadsheet decision in a room somewhere. Watch who it lands on. And it's just crazy when you just think about how this ended. The last free agency live stream the Arena ever did had exactly 3 people on it. Skip Bayless, Brandon Jennings, and Rashad McCants. 3 guys running a free agency show for a company that had already decided that they were leaving the business. And it's bigger than the guys on camera. A producer from the Arena went live on his own YouTube channel to confirm the news and made it pretty sure not everybody on that staff is moving forward with Arenas. So that means camera operators, editors, bookers, people whose names you'll never know, who don't get to just start a new show in August. Nick Young, a man with an NBA championship ring, went on Instagram and publicly begged Gilbert Arenas for a job.
Gilbert, big dog, Gilbert.
He said, Gilbert.
About you getting fired, man. It's water under the bridge.
That's where this landed. And what's actually getting lost here is
It's water under the bridge. Please, please let me get a job. Come on, Craig.
isn't the business, it's the environment.
Like when you come to the arena, bro, it's hostile. Yeah. So we start talking that shit. He's sitting over there like, oh, what the fuck? Can you go and punch him? Like, are they gonna fight?
And that brings us to probably the most interesting man in this entire story, Rashad McCants.
You know what I'm saying? Like I did 10 years. So I call it always like a 10-year bid. I did 10 years in purgatory. Wasn't with me, pretty much assassin. This is like a reincarnation. Come back from the dead.
I know currently everyone's shitting on Rashad McCants, but when you actually pay attention to what this show really meant to him, yeah, you can't really help but feel empathetic towards the guy. So now on the other side of the story, everybody's calling Gilbert Arenas the genius who beat the company, and technically he did, but it's not as clean as I made it sound the last time. Here's what he got. He got the name, the IP, the format, and the studio. That's a fortune and leverage that most athletes never think to ask for. But here's what he doesn't have. The channel. That's Underdogs. The thing that got renamed the arena where the 500 million views live, where the subscribers are, and Underdog said that they might explore selling off the distribution channels and feeds.
Yeah, that's why I've never tried to like buy somebody's IG or nothing like that. Like that's, people used to sell, I know people still probably do it, but people used to sell Instagram accounts all the time back in the day. Oh, I got 800,000 followers, you trying to buy this account, or Twitter accounts and stuff too. And it's like, you buy somebody's account and then you start posting on it, and then you start looking at it like, bro, this is not what I follow. This is not the same stuff that I used to see. And they keep majority of them people because they not paying attention to it. But like, I mean, them few people that's like me, bro, I look like, I don't remember that. Get up out of here.
Change the heart and soul of what this YouTube channel is, it's not going to be successful. We've seen it done multiple times in the past. If you change one of the fundamental parts of what made that YouTube channel, people are not going to click on that video. The only example that comes to mind is what the Daily Wire did with Brett Cooper, which is the example that I gave you in my last video. But in that case, I think Gilbert Arenas is going to make out just fine. And he's the one who got out right before the money walked out of it. So Gilbert Arenas didn't outsmart Underdog. Everybody's saying that, and it's way too small. Gilbert Arenas outsmarted the era that he was in. He took gambling money back when gambling money was free and desperate and throwing itself at anybody with a camera and a name. What? They let them build his studio. They let them staff the show. They let him run the machine for 3 years while he learned how the machine worked. And then he walked out the door with his name in his pocket right before the money left the building. Whether season 5 smashes or flops, that part's already a win. But the real story here isn't Gil. It's that list. McAfee, First Things First, Nightcap, Pub Shay Shay, New Heights, All the Smoke, Pardon My Take. The shows you watch every single day. Go look at who sponsors them and go look at whose logo is on the desk. Because Underdog just sent the whole industry a message. The show can be a monster. Everybody can love it. It can be number 2 on all of YouTube, and they'll still pull the plug because you watching was never the point. You betting was the point. They wrote that down themselves. That money is leaving right now. DraftKings, FanDuel, ESPN, Underdog, one after another.
Appreciate you, The Flight Mike. Appreciate the video. As always, like, comment, sub, show me some love. And as always, I appreciate everything that you do. Have a good day as I get back to you.